and good night, everyone. Good morning, good evening, whatever time that you are viewing this broadcast. Let me say welcome to Pastor O'Neil's Review Zone. Today, we are going to be answering some of your relationship questions from the internet. And we have a spicy one coming from Reddit. Yeah, somebody in Reddit want to get some answers. So, let's start.
Welcome to Pastor O'Neil's Review Zone podcast. We are glad that you decided to join us today. This podcast focuses on reviewing topics like movies, music videos, audio clips, and even relationships, so sit back and enjoy the show. Welcome to Pastor O'Neil's Review Zone.
Right, so we're not wasting no time at all. We're diving straight into it. All right. From time to time, we are going to be looking and reading and reviewing a lot of the questions that people will have from the internet. We have two sources that we are currently pulling information from. That's Quora, which is a huge, huge platform, and also there is Reddit. All right. But we have a nice one from Reddit, just to go through and to review with you all. So here it is. All right. Here it is. My 20-year-old boyfriend. This is a 20-year-old female. All right. My 20-year-old boyfriend, my boyfriend of 6 years, and me have been together since high school. When we dated, he had never had a girlfriend before. So it's only me who has been his first. And I have had a fair share, but still not experienced much. He has been my only sexual partner. Let's just say we have only known each other. Recently, my boyfriend told me he wants to have sex with other women to gain experience in bed and gain more confidence. He told me he wants a 6 month break, but eventually he'll come back to me after that 6-month breakup because he knows who he has and doesn't want to lose it. At first, he wanted to stay together and have sex with other women, but still be together, just be allowed to cheat with my consent, basically. I feel weird that he wants to have sex with other women when he can gain what he's seeking with me, both experience in bed and confidence. So I don't understand why he needs to have it outside of us. Also, he said if the 6-month break happens while he has sex with other women, I can't have sex with other men. Personally, me, I don't sleep with just anyone, and I don't mind sleeping with just one man all my life. I don't like sharing, and I love to follow dating the traditional way. So it's upsetting that he thinks this way and would like advice from anyone who can help me figure out what he actually wants. I feel like he does not love me enough because I believe if he did, he would not feel the need to ask for a breakup or to go and sleep with other women. So the caption here is, my boyfriend wants to take a break to have sex with other women. All right. Wow. Yeah. So obviously, this individual, from the reading of it, is not a believer. And I would be very naive to think that in the church itself, there are people that have these issues. Yeah, we have experienced some stuff, have to counsel some people. And although people in church and people like to figure, well, church folks are perfect. Let me let you know, no way are we perfect. The only difference is we are forgiven, all right? But we need the word of God to help us chart a course in these troubled waters that we are in. And we also need the word of God to steer us and direct us so that we won't end up being shipwrecked. And this scenario that is painted here, there are a number of things that is coming out of it that I would like to address, and so that it will help us to understand some relationship dynamics. The first thing is this 20-year-old female has some communication issues. I know that a lot of times we like to say that women communicate better than men. That is not true. Women, we communicate very, very well. And the thing is, a lot of both on both sexes, sometimes we don't like to hear the truth, right? We always say, tell me the truth. But I personally have come to understand that most times we like to hear lies. Yeah, most time we like to hear lies, right? Because I always draw reference from this movie, A Few Good Men, with Jack Nicholson, Tom Cruise, you know, and Demi Moore. When Jack Nicholson says, "You can handle the truth," and it is so true. Most of the times we are not able to handle the truth. So one of the first things that we have to understand here is that communication is way off. Why does the female have the need to go to Reddit and ask for advice from anybody when clearly, right, she is in a relationship with this young man, and whatever questions that she needs answered can only come from him? A lot of times we feel that all men think the same. That is so very wrong. All men do not think the same. All men do not process things the same. All men do not have the same mentality or the same idea. We are all different. Our voices are different. Our voice patterns are different. The way that we walk is different. What we like and what we don't like is different. So while there are similarities across the board where men are concerned, by and large, if you want to find out something specific about a particular individual, and in this case, a particular man, you need to communicate with that man. Only he can give you the answer that you require. Why? Because you are in a relationship with him. And it just goes to show that sometimes we don't want to hear the harsh reality of what we are into. We don't want to hear the hard reality of what we are into. So the first thing is communication is way off in this couple. And as I always tell the couples that my wife and I counsel, communication is like blood to the body. So if you are not communicating, it means then that your body is anemic, and after a while it will need a transfusion. And if it continues not having the type of blood or the blood volume, or in this case the communication that is needed, you are going to have an issue of blood, or the blood is just going to run out of your body and you're going to die. So this relationship, hopefully, I hope that this person can get this information so that they can get you some things. All right. So first of all, let's look at some contradictions here. First of all, the young man wants to take a break from his girlfriend and have sex with other women because he feels that he does not have enough experience. He feels that he does not satisfy her in bed. Right now, these two individuals are 20 years old and they have known each other predominantly for most of their lives. All right. And what would give this young man, if he has communicated this to you, first of all, you should have asked him, why do you think that you do not satisfy me? And is there any conversation after the sexual act? You see? So first of all, judging from the communication, the text, the message, number one, there isn't any feedback, there isn't any communication. All right. And we've got to understand that text is communication. It's communication on the highest level between two individuals that love themselves. And effective communication is when there is a transmission of information and there is a reception of that information, and both the transmission side and the receiving side agree that this is the message, if you understand what I'm saying, right? So yeah, so if I say, bring me that pencil, and you hear, bring me that pencil, then we have communicated. If I say, bring me that pencil, but then you end up bringing me a pen, then there's a miscommunication. You understand? So clearly here, communication across the board. His actions seem to imply that he feels like he does not satisfy you in the bed. All right. Why does he feel that way? What is the action that you portray? Now, although you might not say that, I want you to know that 70% of communication is nonverbal. So we actually communicate non-verbally more, or we interpret non-verbal communication more than we do verbal communication, which is why a lot of people say actions speak louder than words. And it is so true. Actions do speak louder than words. And clearly, the action in the bedroom here is speaking volumes. Is speaking volumes. Maybe you are not really satisfied. And if you are satisfied, that is not what is communicated to him because of your actions or because of your lack of verbal communication, if probably, all right? So there's a lot of dynamics on the inside there. Right? Why does he feel that he needs to be more experienced? That's another thing. Why does this young man feel that he needs to be more experienced in order to satisfy you in bed? All right. Why does he have to feel that? Now, by and large, this whole thing here, this whole dating dynamic that both of you all have, is something that should be, right, in the confines of a marriage, right? And so here is where you're going to have some problems. Because he does not have any legal binding, anything legal binding. That's basically word of mouth, and a man's word is supposed to be his bond. But in these days, we need to put some actions to our words. We need to put some money to our words. You know, we got the saying, put your money where your mouth is. Yeah, we need to do that. If you claim to love this young man and he claims to love you, why haven't both of you gotten married? I am not saying that marriage, is because we have marriages these days, the marriage statistic is terrible. 56% of marriages end in divorce. That's across the board. 56% of marriages end in divorce. And among married people, 70% of women apply for divorce, and 90% if they have a college degree or higher, right? So that speaks volumes in itself. So I am not saying that marriage is a fix-it. However, within the marriage relationship, within the marriage, this gentleman would have not find it so easy to just run out. Some people do. But basically, once you stand before a crowd of people, whichever religion you belong to, and you say, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do us part, and you make that vow, all right, people understand the gravity of the vow, all right? And when you make that vow, it is not just easy to say, you're not satisfying me, let me go outside, right? It's not just as easy as that, if you understand what I'm saying. So you have the laws of the nation holding you all together, as well as the laws of God and that kind of thing, right? So there is a problem here. Why does he feel the need? Why does he feel that he doesn't have enough experience with you? Isn't that maybe the variety that you all do? something is wrong somewhere there. All right. So let's continue. His action also seems to be rooted in insecurity. Right. And I will show you in the message that you sent that the insecurity here is the problem. Right. When we dated, we had never had, when we dated, he had never had a girlfriend before. So it's only been me who he has been his first, right? That's one part. But here's the part that I have issues with. I have had a fair share, but still not experienced much. So that means then that although he is your, or you are his first girlfriend, he has never had anybody else before, or sexual relationship with anybody before. The fact is, he feels that he has to compete with the other men that you have had relationships with, if you all have spoken about that. Because you've said here, I have had a fair share, but still not experienced much. So that means then that you were his first girlfriend, but he is not your first boyfriend. And he is not your first sexual partner either. Right? You say here, he has been my only sexual partner. But then you contradict yourself. You said, I have had a fair share, but still not experienced much. And you're saying here, he has been my only sexual partner. So it means then that you have had relationship or other relationships with other men. And whether it is sexual or not, let me let you know what happens in the psyche of a man. And a lot of women do not like to hear this. We feel that the women and men are equal, and the feminists are fighting tooth and nail for equality, but men and women are not equal, and we were not created to be equal in that sense. All right, we weren't created to be equal in that sense. First of all, a man cannot make a child. A man does not have huge levels of estrogen and progesterone running around on the inside of them. We don't have that. We have testosterone, which is our driving force. It's what makes us masculine, gives us our deep voice, muscle, facial hair, and all of that. All right. And it is what makes us the initiators in a whole lot of things. It's what gives us that sexual drive in most often times. But that also now with women, a woman is predisposed to how much children she can have. Basically, she has been given all of her children up front, right? She has a set amount of eggs within her, and when that is done, it is finished. So biologically speaking, a woman is made to be more conservative. All right, a woman has been designed to be more conservative, and she does not is not promiscuous as a man. As a matter of fact, if you find that a woman is sexually liberated, quote unquote, and she is very loose and promiscuous, all right, number one, men view that as a L, as a no-go, as not good, which is why most men, and I say most because things are changing these days, most men do not look for prostitutes to get married to, or only fan girls to get married to, or girls that do pornography. Men do not look for those individuals to get married to. It is because they are loose. All right. First of all, so the thing is here, if this man feels that you have had plenty sexual encounters with other men, right, he will feel like he has to compete with them. He will feel that he is not as experienced, and as you say, if you are his first, he will feel that he's not as experienced. Maybe some type of communication that you all have had in the bedroom has subliminally communicated that information to him. And so, whether it is so or not, his actions is proven that. His action is proven, just as you have indicated. You have had some experience. You are his first. You are his first. You have had some experience. So he now feels like he has to compete with those other men. And that is how most men view sex. So that is why a woman cannot be promiscuous and going, jump in here, jump in there, jump in there. That's why a man looks at and he would ask the question, what is your body count? All right. Because when a man, if you have a body count that is really, really high, a man sees you as a liability. He sees you as a liability. He sees you as somebody who he does not want to get involved with. All right. And he also, and if he does get involved with you, in the back of his mind, he will always have some insecurity, feeling like he's not good enough. And especially if when you do have sexual encounter and you give a lackluster type of communication to him, like you are bored, like you've been through this before, like you weren't satisfied, that is communicated to the man. All right. And so he feels like he has to do something. Either he has to get the experience to come up to scratch. And this is for all ladies now, whether you're married, you're not married, Christian, non-Christian, whether you're having sex or not. This is something that, right? You all ladies, you have got to communicate what you like, what you don't like. I know sex is a big taboo subject. A lot of people don't like to talk about it, especially in the churches. But you have got to know your body. And if you do not know your body, how do you expect the man to know your body? You see? If you don't know what excites you, what turns you on, what touches you like, what feeling you like, how do you expect the man to know? And so in your text, you have been, in your message here, you have been sort of confusing, right? My boyfriend and I, my boyfriend of 6 years. So that means that you all known each other since you were 14 years old. You all were 14 years old, right? Been together since high school. We dated. He had never had a girlfriend before. So it's only been me who has been his first, and I have had a fair share. See, that I have had a fair share there is very contradicted. Still not experienced, and you are saying here, he has only been my only sexual partner. So what do you mean by I have had a fair share? Contradictory. If he's your only sexual partner, clearly you're not talking about sex, because that would mean that both of you will have had the same amount. But you're not saying that, right? And so I am not just looking at what you are telling me, I'm looking at the contradiction in your writing, right? If it's a Freudian slip, it is telling me here that you have had other boyfriends before and you have communicated this to this young man, and when you all do have sexual relations, right, you give unsatisfactory is the word, not in, unsatisfactory reports, right, subliminally and by your actions to your boyfriend. And so that puts him off. And so this is why we always tell young people, please reserve sexual relations to when you get married, because all of those men that you have had before, right? And if you have the conversation, this man has to compete with all those men. This man has to compete with all those men. You might say, oh, you can say, I've heard so much foolishness and from people who claim to be Christians, you know, you're a born again virgin, all this type of nonsense. And your clock reset every time it's a January, your body resets and all this type of foolishness. Listen to me. No. Virginity is lost. You cannot have 2 and 3 different virginities. That is not how this thing works. It is either you are virgin or you are not. And once you've lost your virginity, woman, you cannot get it back. It's not scientific, right? You can't get it back. You can talk spiritually how much you like, right? But it is either you are a virgin or you are not, and whether you want to accept it or not. And especially women who have now become saved and are in the church, when you do get that young man and you are about to get married, I would strongly suggest premarital counseling. Do not ever get married to anybody unless you have premarital counseling, because I assure you, as much as Jesus Christ has washed away your sins, cleansed you with his blood and all of that, all right, your body has memory, your body muscles has memory, and you have memory. And each time that young man touches you in a particular way or does something to you that reminds you of the past, you will cringe. I guarantee you that you will cringe, right? And so I am saying that to let you know. I am saying that to let us know today that the whole foolishness about born again virgin is nonsense, right? I am saying it, and I want anybody to challenge me on that. So it's either you're a virgin or you're not, right? The Bible don't even talk about born again virgins and that kind of nonsense that we like to coin and so on, right? A lot of times we have some psychological issues that still, right, that we still have to get delivered from. John and Pookie and Ray that you have had long when you was playing the field, still on the inside of you, that you need to get delivered from, right? And even though you get delivered from that, you have now got to work on a new set of things with your husband. So it's not just about being delivered, right? Being delivered is one aspect, but it's now about, because the reason why you cringe is because something of the past has come back to you. All right, now we're going to take a little pause, and let's let you know that we have our own brand of t-shirts and so on that we have coming out. And to know more about it, here is a little promo.
Are you tired of wearing the same old boring clothes every day? Do you want to express your personality through your fashion choices? Look no further than O'Neil Tees, the brand new print-on-demand business initiated by Desborne O'Neil. At O'Neil Tees, we offer a wide variety of products to choose from, including classic t-shirts, hoodies, tank tops for ladies, mugs, exercise mats, and phone cases. And the best part? You can customize them with your own unique designs. Whether you want to showcase your favorite hobby, support your favorite sports team, or show off your love for your furry friend, O'Neil Tees has got you covered. And with our high-quality printing process, your designs will look vibrant and last for a long time. And the best part? You don't have to wait weeks for your order to arrive. Our print-on-demand process ensures that your product is printed and shipped to you quickly and efficiently. So what are you waiting for? Visit O'Neil Tees today and start designing your own custom clothing and accessories. With our wide range of products and easy-to-use design tools, the possibilities are endless. Plus, our commitment to customer satisfaction means that you can shop with confidence, knowing that we'll do everything we can to make sure you're happy with your order. O'Neil Tees, the perfect choice for anyone who wants to stand out from the crowd. Order now and experience the O'Neil Tees difference. Just click the link in the description.
And we are back. All right, so check out O'Neil Tees. The link is going to be in the description, and you're going to find a whole set of t-shirts in terms of what you're into. You have pets, cats, dogs, all right. You like music, you like whatever. We have t-shirts for all that. And not just t-shirts, we have tank tops, we have hoodies, we have long sleeve tees, we have classic tees, all types of tees. Check it out. Link is in the description. All right, so let's get back to answering this question from this Reddit user. All right, for those who might be joining in late, what has happened is that there's this young lady who's 20 years old. Her boyfriend is 20 years old. They have been having sexual relations. They have known each other since high school for 6 years. All right, so that means that they met since they're 14 years old, and the young man wants to go outside of their relationship because he feels that he doesn't have enough sexual experience to please his girlfriend. And I am saying that the girlfriend has, if she has not had any conversation about this to him, he gets this by her her grade card after the sexual act, right? After you all have had sex, the way how she responds is a grade card to him, right? And so that tell him that speaks volumes. So that's number one. Number two, if you did communicate that you have had other boyfriends before, right? Whether you have had sex with them or not, in his mind, you have had sex with them. All right. And so now he feels like he has to compete. The very fact that he says that he has to go out, that he wants to go outside, all right, not having any other experience, right? To get experience to come back to you means that he wants to please you. I know a lot of women will say, nah, he's just a dog. He just want to go outside, and do what he wants to do. Let me let you know, if you are his first girlfriend, you know what they say about the first. He isn't going to leave you for anybody else. He doesn't want to leave you for anybody else. As a matter of fact, based on what you have written, it seems as if he loves you very much and he wants to be sexually pleasing to you. All right? He wants to be sexually pleasing to you. And so this is why I always advise people not to have sex before marriage, because it creates some dynamics that we not able to handle. Yes, you can't handle that. Not able to handle it. Why do you think marriages break up all the time? Why do you think marriages break up all the time? Because you're constantly competing with a lot of ghosts. You're constantly competing with Peter and James and Jenny and John and Abigail and all these people. You're constantly in competition because we have never rid ourselves of those soul ties that we have built up. And that's a real thing. Why do you think that most women cheat on their husbands with their ex-boyfriends? Why? If you talk to the psychologists, they will tell you, as much as the narrative is that all men cheat, women cheat far more than men. Right? Women cheat far more than men. Way, way more than men. Just go to Instagram and check out most people's Instagram pages. You see married women there in all types of outfits, and especially revealing ones. And they will have more of the revealing ones. Why? Because they get more comments, they get more views, their dopamine levels go through the roof. That means that dopamine, all right, for those who don't know, dopamine is an enzyme, right, that is in the body, and it is present whenever you have joy, or you have that feeling of gladness, or you have that feeling of excitement. It's like when you take drugs, right? That dopamine level goes up whenever you're excited and that kind of thing. And so a lot of women, Instagram and Facebook and TikTok and all of these social media platforms, you will find that they the women overtake the whole platform, right? And they get greater satisfaction by men giving them, yes, a thumbs up, giving them a thumbs up, gratification. So it's a gratification thing. And the more gratification that they get from the thumbs up and the likes and the comments and the whistles and the gifs and all of that, the dopamine levels go through the roof. Whether you want to accept it or not, that's a form of cheating, because it means that you're getting gratification from somebody else other than your husband. Women don't want that conversation, and I am just saying, right, and this is psychologically proven, that women cheat way more than men, and what we call cheating, right? And women always feel that cheating is, you went with another woman sexually. No, cheating is much more than that. All right. So there's a whole different topic. We will cover that some other time. But I am just saying here that when you have sex outside of marriage, especially in a case like this here, you are dealing with some things that you did not cater for, right? Which is why premarital counseling is important, and which is why you also need to have spiritual deliverance from a lot of things. A lot of women are crazy. A lot of men are crazy too, right? Because you're unable to bind yourself properly with somebody, because you're going with this one, going with that one, going with the other one. So what end up happening is that you cannot have any binding together. The Bible says that a man shall leave his mother and father and cleave unto his wife. That is in an innocent state. These days, that ability, that stick-to-itiveness, we have lost it, because we have so many different options outside there. We cannot cleave to any one particular person again. All right. So I am just saying that we're opening up ourselves, especially young people, to some dynamics that we are not willing to handle, right? And this is the case in point. So the fact that this young lady has had to resort to going to Reddit and to talk about this thing means then that there is a problem that has come up in the marriage, and you don't know how to deal with it. Which and while, if you were in a committed relationship and then you were able to share things with one another, then you would have been able to communicate with him properly, and he would have been able to communicate with you properly, because you would have been learning how to communicate with each other properly through premarital counseling and counseling on the whole. You would have been learning those skills, all right? Because marriage is work. Yeah. Anybody could go into a relationship, and then when you finish, when you find that you don't like it, you split. But marriage is real work. You have to work at it. All right. So a relationship is much more than sex, and it involves understanding. It involves learning. All right. It involves empathy. It involves compassion, and it also involves forgiving. See all these things within a relationship. Let me say that again. A relationship is much more than sex. It involves understanding. So you have got to learn to understand your partner, and they must in turn be willing and put in the work to understand you. It involves learning, right? Learning what you like, what you don't like. Are you all having these conversations? Clearly not. Forgiving, right? If you have communicated to him that you have had other boyfriends, you've got to let him know the extent of the relationship with these men. And if you all had sexual relations, he also needs to forgive you, and you need to forgive yourself. Empathy, that is being able to feel and understand what is going on with somebody, right? And compassion. These are, and I'm not just talking about male to a female or female to a male. It's across the board. You cannot have a good relationship. You cannot have even a working definition of a relationship if you don't have understanding, willingness to learn, forgiveness, empathizing with each other, and compassion. Notice we didn't come out, we didn't talk about sex or nothing yet. These are just basic elements. All right. So the other thing is, men don't view sex and relationships the same way that women do. Men do not view sex and relationships the same way that women do. A woman gives her body and she feels, right, that now I am bound to this person, right? As you have said in your letter, right, in your Reddit quotation there, you said that for you, one man and you are all right, you are good. And most women are meant to be monogamous. Most I should put it this way: women generally were meant to be monogamous, generally, because of that whole predisposition of how much eggs that you have, and and that kind of thing. Right? So whenever a woman now is wild and quote unquote sexually liberated and has no boundaries, and she has no conviction where having sex all over the place is concerned, right? When a man sees that, he gets turned off. I don't know how much men are turned on, all right, by that, but if you ask the women that are in the porn industry if they have boyfriends, right, they will tell you that it's a struggle to have meaningful relationship. A man might see you, he find you looking exceptionally well, right? He love you, he can't stop calling you, he can't stop talking to you, he buy flowers. If he have money, he will spend money, he will carry you out here, there, and everywhere. But from the time he learns that you are a porn star, let me tell you something. He is not staying in that relationship. He's gone. He cuts his losses. Hayo Pancho, he's gone. Because men do not view relationship the same way as women do. And whether you are a porn star, an OnlyFans person, or a sexually promiscuous person, men view all of them on the same level. You didn't know that? Well, if you didn't know, now you know. Men view all of them on the same level. Porn star, OnlyFans, promiscuous woman, all of you all on the same level. Because as far as a man is concerned, you have been taking the D, left, right, and center, and that's all that is in his mind. Right? Yeah. If you didn't know, now you know. And so that's why in these days, men always go for younger women. Now, people are saying that the older women now is not as promiscuous as the younger ones. You might say that. And it's easy to say that because when I was growing up, it didn't have no internet and so on. It didn't have no internet. But the young people are having internet and all of that, right? And having more chances and hooking up with let's call this thing Snapchat and all of that, disappearing messages. You could send this photo, send that video, and it disappears after the person sees it and all that kind of thing. All right. The young generation is growing up with that. But when you are looking at somebody to have a meaningful relationship, men equate youth with innocence, right? So a man will obviously quicker go towards a younger person than he would an older person, because in his mind, although you might have less sexual encounters, he sees it as at your age, you have way more sexual encounters than anybody else. Don't shoot the messenger. I am just stating it as it is, right? So men do not view sex and relationship the same way that women do. Him wanting to explore other women comes from feeling like he's not satisfying you, as I said before. All right. Asking for help outside, as I said before, asking for help outside is not going to help you, because I can only tell you how I view something. But this is a conversation that both of you all need to sit down and talk about. Right? Him not wanting you to have another sexual partner goes to solidify my point. Right? That a man will not want his woman or a woman to be hopping from bed to bed to bed. And if you do that, I guarantee you he's gone out of that relationship. All right. So here's simple recommendation. Number one, if both of you all say you love each other and you all are committed to each other and you all want to spend the rest of your lives together, I would strongly recommend, first of all, you get premarital counseling. That's the first thing. Please get premarital counseling. It will help. It will also let you know whether you're compatible, because sometimes we fight down a relationship, but we're not meant to be together. We like having sex with each other, but it doesn't mean that you can live together. And right now, communication is a huge part of your relationship problem. You are not communicating effectively. You're not communicating effectively normally, and you're not even communicating effectively in the bedroom. And if you're not communicating effectively, as I said, then your relationship is doomed without proper communication. So premarital counseling, I would strongly suggest. If you all really, really meant to get married, make a solemn vow to each other that you all are going to be with each other. Right? Him wanting to go outside is not going to fix the issue. And so I'm addressing the man now. You, sir, going outside is not going to fix the issue. In fact, it's going to make it worse. Because next thing you know, you go outside there and you get with a young lady that seems to know you better and everything, right? Are you going to be coming back? Because this person seems to know what you like, know how you like it, and are you going to be coming back? Right? So the answer to fixing a problem is not bringing more problems into the situation. Let me repeat that. The answer to fixing your problem is not bringing more problems into the situation, because him going outside is just creating more soul ties for you to deal with. All right. And my last recommendation is, so premarital counseling, you need to work on communicating. Him going outside to claim to get more experience is not going to help. It's going to make things worse. The last thing is, if you're not believers, get saved. Get to know the Lord Jesus Christ. Get to know who God is and his purpose for man and woman. Because I guarantee you, once you know your purpose as a man, you will recognize that the relationship is not just about sex and sexual fulfillment. It is a great part of it, which communication will help. So communication is a huge problem in this relationship here. All right. So that's my recommendations. And lastly, as I said, get saved, get into a good Bible believing church, so that you can understand the role of a man, the role of a woman, the role of marriage, the role of relationships, why God instituted relationships to begin with, all right, and what we are supposed to do in order to make our relationships better. The Bible is laden with enough information in there for us to have proper relationships, all right? So that's it today for answering our questions from the internet. This was a question from Reddit. So please like and subscribe if you like the information, if you like the advice that we gave, if it was helpful to you, maybe in your relationship. Please like and subscribe to Pastor O'Neil's Review Zone podcast. All right. And until we see and meet each other again, you guys keep good, stay strong, and be blessed. Until later, guys. Have a good one.